For the first module, we'll be talking about setting up and preparing your campaign and determining your campaign channel. So I'm using here the Lightning experience. In order to move to the campaigns, you have either the default button, which is in the middle, or you can go to the left-hand side menu and type in campaigns, and you will be shown the values there. So after I'm on the campaigns tab, I'm going to click new, and I'm going to give my campaign a name. Make sure that is relevant for your specific campaign. Afterwards, click the box active, and later go and select the type. So here are the predefined Salesforce types. Of course, you can add and remove values to this pick list as you see fit. Next, I'll move to the status. This is the status of the campaign. So currently we're in the planning phase, and I will define campaign run date. So in between which days our campaign will run, after which the status of this campaign will be changed. Next, I'll move to the expected revenue in the campaign. So how much revenue I'm expecting to gain from running this campaign. The budgeted cost in the campaign is referring to the investment, the initial investment that you have, for example, flyers, or let's say we bought some lead databases or some contact databases. The expected response rate. So how many of those records how many of the people do you expect that will have a response in your campaigns? So after I click save, I'll be redirected to the page of the current campaign that I have created. And on the details tab, as you can see here, are all of the previous defined metrics that you can later come back and modify as you see fit. For example, expanding the campaign dates or adding any other values in those fields. Next, I'll show you how to import some leads into this campaign, considering that you already have an Excel with a couple of people that you want to target with your campaign. So I'll be using the default the data loader that Salesforce comes with. So I'm going to be adding new records. You have here some the rules that are related to matching, or for example, I selected the lead source would be web. And next I will select my lead CSV. Make sure that you use UTF-8 to tackle different namings like special characters. On the next page, you will see the field mapping. So for example, gender, I don't have this field in my Salesforce org, so therefore it's unmapped. But if you want to do it, you can create a new field. After I click Start Import, the job in the Setup menu will show me how many records have successfully created and how many have failed. As you can see here at the bottom, records succeeded. So I had 200 leads generated randomly from the internet. Next, I will go to my campaign to show you the end results. So I'm going to use the menu on the left and go to campaigns, select the training advertising that I have just recently created, and you can see my my values have been added as campaign members. If you click view all, you can definitely go into the details of them. So what I would like to do is add another batch of contacts. And I'm going to be going through the same process. The only difference is I'm going to select accounts and contacts, add new records. And as you can see here, there are different settings compared to the leads, but I'm going to leave them as default. And I'm just going to select the CSV file and again use UTF-8 for the special characters. Next, here you can see a field that is unmapped, which I can map it by using the link on the left. So the company map to account name. Next, on the next page, you'll see the details related to your import. And again, we will be redirected to the successful rate, the rate of success, the records processed. Next, we'll be touching about specifying campaign responses. This is will require us to move to the classic interface. So I'll be switching from the top right-hand corner to the classic. I'll be going to my campaign. I have it here in the recent items, and I'm going to go on edit layout to the top right. Why? Because there's a related list that is not included by default in the Lightning one, and you cannot add it, only using the Lightning section. So after I'm saving this section, I'm going to switch back to the Lightning experience, and you can see that the related list is on the top. And you have two campaign statuses, sent and responded. And I would like to add several more, which may be relevant for my campaigns. Have in mind, if you click the responded tick box, means that those leads or that specific campaign members have responded to your campaign. So depending on what type of status you have, you might want to have that checked or not. And after I'm adding all of the relevant campaign member statuses, I would like to change some of the responses that I have, for example, in my campaign members. I go to select all, so you can go on the contact itself just to demonstrate where this is sitting. So then campaign history, you see that is related to the training advertising, and you can edit this manually to change it to a different status in case you, for example, want to have this as a different setup. I'm going to go to the campaign again, and I would like to show you how to change in a more unified way. So I'm going to go to the view all, and you see here there are some checkboxes which I can select. So for example, if I know that several contacts or several leads of my from my campaign have a specific response, you can now go here to the top right and update statuses and click save. And those statuses have been updated. Furthermore, on the top right-hand corner, after the refresh button, you have a filter option, which you can, for example, filter on the specific campaign members. And I would like to demonstrate this by selecting several companies and mass changing their responses. So after I'm using here this filter, I can click on the top and select all of the leads and contacts, and I can mass change these campaign responses depending on how I see fit. As you can see here, all of the statuses have been updated. So again, further details you can use to filter the type, and as you can see here, you can later filter on the statuses or names. So after I'm done changing with the member statuses on these records, I'll just quickly give it another refresh and then go back to the campaign, and you'll see a chart of the different responses. You can change the type of chart to a horizontal one, for example, to see the better responses. Next, I would like to touch upon the campaign hierarchies. This is useful for if you want to bundle campaigns within a year. For example, you have yearly campaigns that you're running, and this is done by the parent campaign field from the details tab. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another campaign as a parent. So let's call it 2020 marketing campaigns. If I only can type campaigns properly, that would be good. So I'm going to select the type none, as this is the parent one, and I'm going to select it in progress because I want to link more campaigns to it. You can filter the dates based on these sliders. So I'm going to use this start date and end date. Have in mind here, as an example, what I'm doing is not selecting the date properly. So if you want to be mindful of how the date is selected within your company with your default settings. So you can see that I had the month in the second section. Next, of course, I'll be completing some of these details based on how much I expected to gain within the year. And I'll select the currency as well. After I save this campaign, I'll just copy the name from the top, and I'll go back to my campaigns tab and go to my training advertising, the one that I created before, go on the details tab, and I'm going to edit the parent campaign field and just put it there. This will help to roll up the values. Next, I would like to touch about user access. In case you have many users in your org, I would recommend going to the Setup, Users tab, and Users again. This is to grant access to campaigns and to edit them. And depending on the profile, you can also add or import leads or not. So the marketing user is the way that you would give access to people.